Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Ideas Edition podcast. And I am so excited to have this person joining us in our podcast today because, I bring entrepreneurs, I bring top producers, I also bring, managers from different carriers to talk about strategies, marketing tips, so that we can learn from their experiences. But today I have somebody different. I actually have somebody that I've been knowing for about a year now, but he actually is the president of Premier Home Funding. And I wanted to bring a mortgage person here because, as you know, part of building wealth is for you to invest in different type of vehicles. So I'm gonna ask him some quick questions. So if you're already in that position where, hey, I'm an entrepreneur making money, my business is working, what do you do with the money then, right? So I think having an expert on home and a mortgage broker that can give you some type of advice is very important. So we're going to learn a lot from Jason Rutland today from Premier Home Funding. He's actually the president. He's been in business forever, and he also has a very successful business. So Jason, thank you so much for being here today and for coming to our podcast, man.
Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
That's amazing, man. And I love what you do in the home business and how you have really helped a lot of people, find dream homes and make their dreams come true. As an immigrant, a lot of us, when we come to the United States, it's like we experience a lot of challenges. And for a lot of people, immigrants and, people that just were born in the U.S., having their first home is like a huge dream, right? So you make that come true, and I love what you do. So if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, and how you got started in the home business,
So it's actually kind of a funny little path here. I'm doing the exact opposite thing I always dreamed of doing.
Oh my God, really?
It's interesting. So like when I was a little kid, my mom, she had this nickname for me, but it was basically the Alex P. Keaton. He was a character on the Family Ties show from the 80s where he wanted to be a financial advisor because I always wanted to be a financial advisor.
Okay.
And,
wow.
I would just add crazy numbers up in my head all the time. It was pretty weird. Like we go around the grocery store and I tell her that's going to be $65.47.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
And they ring up the register and they're like, oh, no, it's not. My mom will look at me and I go, hit the tax button. And once they added the tax, it was $65.47. She's like, I don't know how you do that.
Wow.
I just have always loved numbers. So my dream was, how can I impact families to have a financial safety net, if you will.
Wow.
So that their kids can definitely go to college, they can go on vacations, and the parents' retirement is secure.
Wow.
So I went to college wanting to go into the FBI for about 5 years. I wanted to shoot at the bad guys, take out some of them.
No way. That's so fun.
I love thrills. I do. So, and then transition to be a financial advisor for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And accomplish that dream.
Wow, you did.
No, I didn't do it at all. Well, that was the dream.
That was a dream back then.
So
okay.
I graduated August 11th, 2001, 1 month before 9/11.
Wow.
And decided on August 4th, I believe it was, I wasn't going to go do my MBA. So I was going to go straight into the field. And as I started interviewing, 9/11 had happened. And the industry wasn't hiring. It wasn't good.
Yeah, oh man, I'm gonna rethink this.
Yes. So I ended up at a football party at a friend's house, and his roommate was looking to hire someone in the mortgage industry. And I was like, I know it. My dad had been doing it for, at that point, probably almost 15 years. My grandmother had been a realtor for 20 some odd years. So it's kind of in the family, if you will.
Got it. Okay.
So I said, I could do that job until I find the real job I want. Okay. Here I am 23 years later.
So that's how you got started. That is so funny because with me, I never thought about that I was going to be in the insurance business neither. You know, I just needed a job and started working at a call center for one of these carriers, right? Customer service, nothing related to sales.
Yep.
And one thing led to the other. And here we are today. So that is incredible.
Yeah. So instead of helping people plan their financial safety net and that future and that retirement and kids' college, I put them in debt for 30 years. But I do it with a lens.
Yeah.
How can I help them make that right financial decision for their family to allow those other things to still happen?
Yeah. And that's so important too, because I feel that as a mortgage broker, you're dealing with different banks. You're trying to find maybe the best interest rates or the best deals for the clients.
Yep.
Right. So in a sense, a little similar to what we do, like we don't do one carrier.
Nope.
We're try to find them, the best deal or the best carriers that based on their needs. Right. So I think that's important. And then when you already know the financial situation of that household, right, you are able to let them know, hey, it's now a good time to do it. It's not, right? So having that financial mindset really helps, right? Because you're not into just sell them a home. You're into, hey, is this really a good financial decision?
Is this the right thing for you or not? And let's talk about it. Exactly.
Yeah. So when did you, so you started working as a mortgage broker for your
Loan.
for your family, or
No. So my family didn't hire me. No.
Oh,
So
okay, all right.
no, I was I met the roommate at that party.
Okay.
And she needed assistance, so I said, sure, I can do it.
Okay.
And this might tie in well with our topic, actually. This is a funny story. She had only hit 1 million in production in a month ever in her entire career.
Wow.
And it was literally the month before I started.
Wow.
So that assistant transitioned out, trained me, and then I took over her first month with me. She hit 1 million again. She's like, okay, cool. I'm doing it 2 months in a row. My second month, she did it again.
Huh.
I was like, all right, she's doing really well. She's cranking. Well, the third month I was there, she hit over 2 million.
Ooh.
I looked at her and I said, I think it might be me
Huh.
because I haven't let off. You're killing it. And then her fourth month, she went on vacation most of the month and she hit over 2 million again. I said, it's me. And by the way, working for you is really stressful. So I'm going to go do it on my own.
Wow. Wow.
That was a mistake. I learned real fast. I was the engineer. I was the one that understood how to put the deals together.
Got it.
She was the rainmaker.
So she knew how to market, how to find the clients.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Wow.
So you know what? That was an early lesson 4 months into my career to understand marketing.
Wow.
So,
which, most business owners and most self-employees, the people that are trying to build something for themselves,
yeah.
I think that's one of the hardest parts,
Yeah.
How do I get the client, So, wow.
Some are really good at that and not good at the administrative side and leadership side.
Mhm.
We all have different skill sets.
Yep, that's true. So wow, thank you for sharing that. So
Yeah.
so 4 months later, you were on your own. Then you got hit. Hey, how do I find clients now?
It was scary.
So, so what things you have to do to keep going? Like, did you stay building something for yourself? Did you go back to maybe getting more experience?
Quite an interesting. So that happened. And then shortly thereafter, I tore my ACL playing football at my church.
Oh.
And back then I thought, oh my gosh, I won't be able to go get business. I need to go to a company that will provide me leads.
Mm-hmm.
So reached out to my dad and he actually put me in contact with a company that did that.
Cool.
May or may not tell that story. We'll see. But was there for a few short months until I decided I was going to do this on my own and create my company. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And how long you've been now with a Premier Home Funding?
February 2004. So what was this? 21 years.
Long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Very, very, very successful.
It's been great.
So, and tell me a little bit about what things do you have to learn throughout the way? 21 years in business, that's a very big accomplishment.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things you have learned since you started as far as sales, marketing, like what's important for you to grow a business?
So the first piece of advice, I looked around the office I was in that first company
Mm-hmm.
and I looked at all the top, like who are the top producing people here? Right?
Okay.
And there's probably 3 of them.
Wow.
And I said, what do they each do really well? Because maybe it'll fit me, maybe it won't, but they've already figured this out. Let me look to them first. One person was very detail oriented. All right. Highly respected that. That's fine. That's great. But she had a builder account with a good friend of hers. I didn't have a friend that was building houses, so I couldn't do that. But she was good at getting it done. Second person was really smart with financial stuff. When it came to stocks, bonds, everything outside of mortgages, he really understood that. That hit my heart because that was something I loved.
Wow.
So I learned on that. But the third guy was the most interesting to me. He would show up around 10 o'clock every day, talk to his assistant, and then go to lunch about 11. Then he'd come back around 2, check in with her, and leave by 3.
Wow.
Work 2 hours a day.
Wow.
It was one of the top 3 people. And I'm like, how is this man doing this? So I sat down with him one day and I said, look, you got to tell me why you do what you do. Not how, why.
Wow. That's Amazing.
And the why was, look, he only did the high-end stuff. Houses that, back then were probably 600, but today are probably like 2 million up.
Wow.
And he said, look, I used to be a builder. And when I built houses, I learned I could build a $150,000 house. It has 4 bathrooms and all this different items. Or I could build a $500,000 to $1 million home that's got 6 bathrooms, a little bit more work, but a whole lot more to make. He said, so I brought the same mentality into what I do now, which I try to go for the bigger loans.
There you go.
You know what? I knocked down some big ones right away. So
wow.
He did maybe 2 loans a month and made as much as everyone else did.
Wow.
And worked 2 hours a day. Pretty smart guy.
That's so smart. That's so smart. So we call it, big ticket clients or, high value products. So
yeah,
that was so smart because the higher the loan, the more the person makes.
So what he said is he looked for a niche, and that niche was something no one else wanted to do. No one else wanted to do. It's called construction to perm financing. So he said, kid, get a niche.
Okay.
Right? I mean, we hear that in marketing, right?
Yeah.
I was 23 years old and I was like, okay, this sounds smart. So I looked around and said, what does everyone else here hate to do? And my answer was, they all hate working with entrepreneurs and business owners. Because it's a very different way to like work through a tax return.
Yep.
They don't understand how to use the income.
It's a lot of paperwork involved. Yep. Bank statements, probably,
So I decided to delve into that, and I learned CPA strategies, financial advising strategies of how they do it. And then I learned how to do the tax returns, how to argue the tax returns, all the tricks and the guidelines. And I tried to master that as my niche.
Wow.
And to this day, it's still 50% of my business.
Wow. And that's so amazing. So you identify this niche. That's what's so important. Identify a niche, right?
Yeah.
And just go at it, learn it.
Yeah.
And wow. Make me think, a lot of stuff of what I did back in the day to actually start generating those leads and start marketing myself. So that's interesting, right?
It is.
So you learn all of that, and how many clients approximately do you help on a monthly basis? Like, did you start it by yourself? Do you have to grow a team as well?
In the beginning, it was just me. So it was just me. So I kept it pretty easy to do. And then as I added more team members, obviously I needed to get more production. But when it was just me, probably 4 to 5 a month. And then it grew to much more at that point after, as you grew and added more people to the team.
Yeah. And then how did you market to these business owners, to these self-employed people? Like,
another excellent question. So when you're choosing a niche, it's really smart to choose a niche that wants to refer itself to other people. Right?
Wow.
So veterans love to refer to their buddies. Hey, work with my insurance guy, my, whatever it is, because they trust each other. Well, I found that business owners, we've all been through the battles of the ups, the downs, the challenges, HR, cash flow, all these different things. So we kind of like love listening to those stories and taking referrals from other business owners. So they really referred each other very well to me.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Yeah. And I think if you do a really good job with, those first clients, they'll refer you. They'll love it. If you're able to get that loan approved fast and get them to the closing table, they really like that, and they'll refer their friends, right?
I love when a business owner tells me, I've never been able to get approved. I really don't think you can do it. And I've tried many banks. Whenever I go, I love your challenge. Let's go.
Oh,
and
I love it.
There's some people in our group that have challenged me to that, and so far 100% have been approved. So
wow,
so it's fun.
That is so fun. That is so fun, and I love that you're doing that. And then so mortgage is very, very related to the housing business, right? The real estate, the buying and selling, investments, and all of that. And as the government increases interest rates, we see the market kind of goes up, up and down, right? That has been my thing with real estate. Like, there are times that real estate people and mortgage brokers really make a lot of money, but there's also times where it's a little bit challenging, right?
Yeah.
So 21 years of experience, how first, what are some of those challenges that you see in your business? And then how have you been able to overcome them, for 21 years? Because
Yeah.
you've probably been through 2 or 3 ups and downs, bro.
2, currently in still the second one.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot there. So my number one thing that I teach every business owner, especially a brand new one, that they have to monitor is cash flow.
Wow.
Because if you don't know where your money is coming for next month or the month after, you don't know, right? You're not sure if you can take on this project, if you should take on the size, if you should hire this additional team member. You're at a severe disadvantage unless you really know.
Yeah.
Some people want to sit back and go, "Oh, I've got a lot of cash in the bank." Okay, but are you profitable? You might be doing a lot of deals. You might be busy, but are you even profitable? Or
That's great feedback.
They may have like a huge amount of projects coming, but how do you get to that destination with cash flow? So cash flow during those 2 tough times has been the biggest challenge.
Wow.
How do you keep it going? Is your team the right size? Are you offering the right products to meet your goals? But yeah, cash flow is the number one. The first one was the most difficult. My income dropped 60% from the previous year.
Wow.
That was pretty rough.
That's rough.
That was rough. Cash flow became pretty important at that point.
Yeah.
I had to make sure I had no debt. I didn't want to enter into that with lots of debt. So I literally paid off everything I had so that I didn't have those monthly expenses. But before I made the choice to pay off the debt, I determined, do I have enough cash flow to make it for quite a long time?
Exactly. Wow. That's so important, because I think a lot of people don't think about that. Right. They think that everything's going to be great 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And even in the insurance business, there's ups and downs. Not as probably as high or long as the mortgage business or the real estate business. But, I tell them, hey, most of the products we sell are government-sponsored products,
Right.
We do a lot of individual and family with ACA or Obamacare. We do a lot of Medicare, and most of the Medicare products are not private funded. They're, government funded as well, Medicare Advantage.
Exactly.
We don't know what the government can do year over year. We don't know. We go through regulations. We go through all that, right? So same thing as the mortgage business, and that regulated by the banks, right? So
me nervous from 2007 and 2008 all over again right now.
No,
It's
man.
a rough time.
No, man. So, but what you said is very key, because it's not a matter of, okay, I'm making good money now, everything's good, I'm not gonna worry about it. It's like, okay, I'm making good money, let's pay off debt, let's get a bigger cash flow in the bank account for the bad times.
Yep.
So that's so important that you mentioned that, because I feel, we don't think about those bad moments, and I think they're gonna come in any business, any industry. It's gonna come.
You do it long enough, it's going to get you. And there are some in our mortgage industry from 2021, when we kind of hit like the highest point of employment in our industry, closings, funding, like every metric. 2021 was the highest ever.
Wow.
2020.
Yes, pre-COVID, probably, right?
It was just after COVID. So
Oh yeah. So when COVID came,
20.
a lot of people from the north were actually moving into Florida.
Right.
So
Yeah.
So and like, I remember those during those. I think like it lasted for a year, maybe a year and a half.
Something like that. Yeah.
A lot of people moving in. There was a shortage of homes. Like, you could not put an offer that
2022 was actually when the shortage got to the most extreme.
Wow.
So, but the mortgage side rates had already started to go up.
Okay.
So 2021 was our best year ever.
Wow.
2022 was in the spring, where homes would be on the market less than 25 days on average.
Yeah, that's real
insane.
That was insane. So people were just putting offers in and getting houses, and then they needed banks to loan, right? So
if your realtor knew you wanted a house and someone said, "Hey, I want to list my house," to that realtor, they wouldn't even list it. Sometimes they just call you and go, "Hey, I had this house about to come on the market." Like it was crazy. It was a good time. Yeah.
Wow. So good times. Good times. Wow. Yeah, I can see that. I remember now. I remember back then. I was in the process of buying the house that I own right now, and I was looking into the area, and man, I think I placed like 4 offers. They all got rejected.
You did pretty well then.
because they were, and like, are you kidding me? This just came in the market a day ago.
Gone.
Like, no, multiple offers, highest and best, and all of this and all of that. I'm like, are you kidding me?
So you take that time, which was the craziest, to today, where we have homes now on the market. I think the last report I saw was like 120-ish days,
Mm-hmm.
so about 4 months. Average, like historical averages in that 3 to 4 month range. So we're kind of there. But the right homes still in today's market, they go on and they go off real fast. If it's the perfect house,
Yeah, the average
multiple
one.
people want it.
Yeah. But it's probably gonna be that lower range, maybe $300,000, $400,000.
Just had a friend who lost down $1 million, $1.5 million. Yeah.
Whoa.
Just this past weekend.
Wow.
So it's all price points.
It's price points.
Obviously, the $450,000 home is going to fly
Yeah.
because there's so many buyers. But even at those higher price points, if it's the right home and it's desirable,
they'll
it doesn't last.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is unique, I think, to Florida and maybe some other markets, right?
Probably.
So, do you do only Florida? Or do you do
When we do Florida, yeah.
Florida?
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, there's lots of business to be done here.
There's, we're one of the top 2 states, so it kind of keeps me busy. So
Yeah,
one day we'll venture out of here. So, but for now, we're here in Florida.
That is amazing. That is amazing. And Jason, talking a little bit more about, what things have gotten you to maybe through the bad times. Of course, you gave a wealth of knowledge as far as, things that people can do to actually help try their business and have a sustainable business.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about some inspiration, like what gets you up in the morning to do the things that you do for your business on a daily basis, man.
Well, for me, it's my faith, my family. Those are the 2 most important. So for me, I like to, on the mornings, my wife and I have the time, I like to sit down and read the word together, and pray and be able to kind of talk through what the rest of our day is going to look like.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you do that every morning with your wife?
We try. I admittedly, I want to say yes, but there are mornings where we don't get it done, but we do definitely try.
That's amazing to have that routine. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That sets your day.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
When you make those moments special and you can get the routine going, it changes the tone at which you start your day. Wow, I just thought of a music way, but it almost gives you like a positive way of approaching the day instead of all right, that 10 o'clock meeting, I'm not sure how it's going to go, or that person's really difficult. No, you're like, all right, let's go. I'm excited. And
Awesome.
it brings you understanding where God has put you in that moment and ready to move forward. So.
Wow, that is amazing. And we met at C12, which is a faith organization that actually helps Christian business owners be successful in their businesses.
Yeah.
I think I talked to you, and you've been with C12 for
8 years or so.
8 years.
Like
so how has those strategies that they teach business owners, help you grow your business?
Great question. So for me, I believe C12's helped in probably 2 or 3 areas. As business owners, again, we have strengths, we have weaknesses, and sometimes creating that great space within your company to add ministry components, to care for your team. Those aren't ideas that are natural to me, but I love them. So it's been able to give me some of those ideas to really help me improve how I serve my team. So.
Wow, that's amazing. I've been only for C12 for 10 months now, and it's been mind blowing.
There's so much more to go.
Yeah, and what are some of the things throughout the years that you've been able to implement in your business? So the ministry side is one of them. Have you implemented anything else about what they say or?
It's funny. I honestly can't be like, there's all these 65 things.
Yeah,
that's a lot, right? So a big part of why I love C12 is it gives me we have goals and that we have to attain before the next meeting. So I always set those based on the materials I learned the last month. So, smart. Hiring processes has majorly improved. Some of our marketing.
Wow.
The wording in our marketing. How to focus more and be more direct with my team. How to be more purposeful as a leader without being as constructive or destructive, and sometimes. So in my previous, I probably was more like, we're doing this wrong and it's your fault. No, when now I'm more like, all right, we got to address this. how do we approach this and make sure that we don't do it this way anymore?
Yeah, that's amazing. Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
You know, talking about the mortgage industry, what has been the best advice that maybe a mentor or someone has given you for your business?
Wow. Have not considered that question. I think back to my mentor, and what she did so well for me was she would come in early each and every day, and we went through the hundreds back then of pages of guidelines.
Wow.
So FHA was probably a couple hundred pages back then. Now it's over 1,000. But we went through all of those guidelines, every single line by line. So if you've got different insurance programs, having your individual person become the absolute expert at that entire program.
Wow.
And once we learned that the most basic one, we went to the next one. So how do we help someone who wants to be, a upper tier kind of higher end buyer? Okay. Then once we learned that, how do we serve veterans? We did this there was 5 guidelines back then. We did it for all of them, read every single word and every single guideline for all 5. And that attention to detail to understand and come up with solutions just set me apart.
Wow.
So, same in your field, I imagine.
Yeah. And I think being the expert at what you do really makes an impression on clients, and it really makes you unique, right? Because I think that's what differentiates you between you and somebody else in your same business, right? The more you know about something and the more you know about the rules, I think that's important. So, wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So, talking a little bit about maybe some books that you can recommend to the audience that has helped you throughout your business, your career. Yeah.
So I have my team, when they start, read a few books when they join.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
One of the first ones I have them read is called Raving Fans. Have you ever heard of it?
Raving Fans.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I have. Yeah.
I love it because we want our company to be something that we have raving fans out in the community, right? And over the years, we've definitely gotten many raving fans. So it's exciting when those people will go, hey, I spoke with a lady last week, and she said, I'm so sorry. I'm actually not going to work with your company. However, her friend that recommended us, she literally said, raved about you guys. And I just died laughing when she said that. She goes, the reason I'm not working with you is my realtor just said, work with the lender that's already got the person that we're buying the house from, just so it's all in one place. I said, I get it. It's okay. I hope that your new home's amazing. But she said, Alyssa, who recommended you, she's a raving fan. She loves you guys. I was like, I love to hear that. Thank you.
Yeah. So the books helps your team get into that culture.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's an easy read. It's kind of fun and engaging. So I think that's a great one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, man. Awesome. Any other books that maybe you have read that have
we did a teen challenge a few years ago where you had to read 3 books, and if you did, then we took the entire team, went to a football game. It was kind of fun. So everybody got it done. It was pretty cool. But we did Dave Ramsey's book.
Yeah.
I did it because we get a lot of conversation points out of it. Our tagline for our mortgage company is, we're the mortgage company that hates debt.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So we hate debt. We just do. And so when we're teaching people advice, we sometimes attract people that also really hate debt. And they want to follow the Dave Ramsey advice. So I wanted my team to be aware of the advice. We agree with 80%, 85% of it.
Yeah, the Total Money Makeover,
Total
maybe
Money Makeover, exactly.
the baby steps.
Yeah.
I think it's a great book. I've read it, and when I read it, it was the perfect time in my life because I was so much in debt, man. I made so bad decisions, me and my wife.
Yeah.
So I didn't read it. I ate it.
Yeah.
Like,
it's good.
I started following that process, and man, we were out of debt like in a year and a half.
Awesome.
We paid maybe like 60 or 70 grand that we owed to credit cards, personal loans, a bunch of stuff that we had.
Wow.
Nobody will give us anything. Like, we were trying actually to purchase a house. Like, you don't have enough money and you have all these credit cards maxed out. Like, no, you don't qualify. So
Scary way to live.
So that was one of the books that really helped me. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think it's important to at least baby step 1, 2, 3. I think that's really key. To it's a great system. Debt Snowball, all of that.
And then one other book I might recommend would be a very common book everyone's read, but I read it again last month. Was Rich Dad Poor Dad. So
great book. Yeah.
Great book.
Yeah.
I think if I'm being really vulnerable, I'd say here I am this far into my career, and I read that book, and I still gained one more piece of information from it. I'm like, gosh, why have I waited this long to do some of these things? So fabulous book. It challenges you in a way, and the idea that I added was, you can't take on some new thing you really want without sacrificing and building an asset to pay for it. I think we all often just decide, hey, I need this. I want this nicer car. And you just put yourself in more debt or pay all your cash. But find a way to pay for it.
Wow. If you could change something in your industry, what would that be?
That was the wrong question for me. So
maybe interest rates, probably.
No. You really want to know my secret on that? I don't ever want to see an interest rate in the 4s, 3s, or 2s ever again in my career. Ever.
No way.
No, it's the worst.
Are you kidding me? Because
here's the secret. When interest rates are in the 5s, everybody wants to buy a house. Everybody wants to refinance. Okay? That's good.
Yeah.
That keeps me busy. When it's in the 4s, this is bizarre. Everybody thinks that they need to wait a little longer for rates to get better. I don't understand it.
Wow.
They're all becoming the stock pickers on the other side, but like they think they're going to wait to the exact moment the interest rates are going to drop to 3.875. When they're in the 3s, most will jump, but some still want to wait.
Are you kidding me?
I kid you not. We did rates in the 2s. I even had one guy almost get 1.99 back in the crazy time.
Wow.
But there were people that when they were in the 5s said, when are they going back down to the 2s? I'm like, that ship has sailed.
Yeah, I think we're not gonna see that in a long time.
I don't think we will for quite a long time. But here's the full secret. In the 5s, your housing prices continued a steady growth. In the 4s and 3s, their values explode because the money's too cheap to borrow. In the 6s and 7s, pretty flat. So I like 5s.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Man, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's impressive. That's impressive. So you will not change interest rates. You will try to
not touch interest rates, but here's what I would change.
What would you change?
And like you're putting me on a soapbox, I could go for 4 hours, but I'll keep it short and sweet. I would change everything we do. We do it wrong. Our entire industry does it wrong.
Wow.
And whenever I get to a point where a client's like, this doesn't make any sense, I said, yeah. And they'll usually say, it's not logical. I said, there's your first mistake. You applied logic to anything in the mortgage industry.
Oh, yeah. No.
We don't use logic.
No,
we don't. We use fraud and risk. If it's fraudulent, we're going to run from it. If it's risky to us, we're going to ask you for a million things to make sure that our risk goes down. Otherwise, we're not going to do it.
Okay.
What we should do, in my opinion, is say, okay, Jorge, I want to see your budget. Show me your spending the last 3 months. Where'd your money go? How much money do you have left over? Can you afford the home? Yeah. All right. You're approved.
Wow.
I think we should truly have an honest conversation with you. Can you afford this home?
Yep. I agree with that.
And I would do a 3-month evaluation and a full 12-month evaluation, and then I would approve a client.
Wow. Totally different. I'm looking at their credit report for the last 10
Still
years.
looking at the credit report. I've seen people that make a lot of money and have no history of paying their bills.
Wow. Wow. But I love that. So you will first find out if they can afford it. Look at the 12-month history of, bank statements and based on that,
There's a lot of people that would be like, that's a crazy idea because people could artificial. Yes, they could. But here's the thing. I see people that make $500,000 a year and cannot afford their house and their car and their country club membership and their business and everything else is just crumbling. But on paper,
it looks good.
I could easily approve them.
Yeah, but then that's when we see that eventually they're not able to afford it, and then they cannot pay the house, and then it just goes down.
It results in a divorce. It results in losing their company. It results in their kids being like, there's so much destruction.
Wow.
So I think we need to be honest with where are you really with your money, and let's go from there.
I love that answer, man. Wow.
Yeah.
I think, man, if that will be changed, people will be in such much better financial place right now. And wow.
I have 2 more things though. One is I would approve someone for a mortgage that they can take from house to house instead of having to keep doing this. There's a lot of reasons mechanically we can't do it that way. I think it's kind of crazy because we should be able to. And then we are currently inventing a product that will help someone pay their mortgage off faster by doing some small little tweaks and marrying 2 different ideas that are really old ideas, but some kind of a tweak out of some strategies that have come out of Australia and Italy. So
awesome.
pretty cool.
Love to hear more about that later on.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
But that sounds amazing. Yeah, because if we can pay off a house in half the time, and for 30 years is a long time.
It's a long
Buy a house,
time.
you know.
30 years, you can be old, man.
Yeah, yeah. And by the time you're old, like, you don't enjoy it anymore, right?
I haven't met the person yet that has taken 30 years to pay a mortgage. I'm sure there's been someone, but most people pay it off before 30. Most, but even more, obviously, sell that house and move to another.
And move to another one and start all over again,
Yeah.
which was also a little crazy. Yeah.
But I've seen people pay them off in 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, young couples.
Mhm.
It's insane.
That's insane. They just go full at it.
Full out.
Dave Ramsey full at
They make him look mild.
it.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Have you seen, like, because this I've seen it, for me, I think it's crazy. Have you seen 30-year loans being approved for like a 70-year-old?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. It's got
like,
I've done it.
Why would the bank do that?
No.
Like,
Well, we're not allowed to discriminate. Okay.
okay.
But if you think about it, what would be the wrong advice for, and I've helped someone who's 85.
Wow.
Yeah.
85.
She really wanted to move. She wanted to downsize, make it simpler, but she was on a really tight fixed income.
Okay.
So should I have advised her to do a 10-year mortgage? Should I have told her to pay cash? No, I actually think the opposite. Like, she wanted to enjoy the rest of her life with her family, be close by, and had a low monthly payment that she could live that quality life for her last few years.
Okay.
So I thought that was a lot smarter than pay cash and then live on a really tight fixed income.
Wow. So you made it work. That's
Again, it's kind of like a financial advisor thing. Like, what fits that person?
awesome.
Yeah.
Last question, Jason.
Yeah.
If you have to give an advice to your 20-year-old self,
Yeah.
what will you say to Jason?
Oh, wow. Start sooner.
Oh,
So, you know, actually, funny enough, I was 18. I was at the University of Florida, and there was these cool computers all around the computer lab. And I'm like, gosh, I went home and told my parents, you have to invest in this company. Like, all us college kids love these computers. They're really cool.
wow.
I said, put $1,000. My dad goes, no, we're not doing it. I'm like, fine. Okay.
So you told you that.
I told my dad.
Wow.
And then I went back home again at Christmas. I was like, Dad, you got to do this. Like, all these kids, like, we love these computers. So it was the really rainbow colored new Apple computers that were coming out. And
wow.
yeah,
Man.
so I say that story to say, start sooner, invest sooner, learn sooner. For me, the number one thing I probably should have done sooner was, this is funny because it's appropriate for today, market sooner.
Wow.
I focused so much on the learning and being the engineer, knowing all the guidelines, but I didn't focus on going out and finding the business faster.
Wow.
If I'd done that so much faster, that would have been.
Man, love that answer. Love that answer.
Do it sooner.
Do it sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, Jason. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
This is fun.
I think this was fun and
Yeah.
great. Man, a lot
Come
of
back next week.
insights. Let's do it. Well, you got to tell me that strategy once you have it all set up, man.
We'll get that.
How Italy does it, how the Western world does it. So, wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. So I might bring you up again once you have that set up. So, but man, it's been amazing. Thank you so much, Jason, for your time, man. And guys, so that is all for this Ideas Edition podcast. Another amazing guest, Jason Rutland. Jason, if they want to reach out to you, maybe they have questions, maybe they want to know if they can either refinance their house, or maybe they just want to buy an investment property, or maybe someone that wants to have their first house, how can you help them?
Yeah. No, they could reach out to me, and my team would be happy to serve them. And then, our website is phfhome.com. And our phone number is 407-616-3433.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Jason.
I love it.
And guys, another amazing guest, like I said, Jason Rutland from Premier Home Fundings. Great information, guys. Share this with someone that will be able to benefit from it. We like doing this every week with new content so that you're able to learn, but we will also want you to share this information with someone that can be beneficial to them. And hey, that is all for today, guys. I'll see you on the next Ideas Edition podcast. Take care.